Hello, and thank you for watching. My name is Bradford Roberts, Principal Broker, Founder, and Owner of TR Realty in the Las Vegas area. After watching this video, please be sure to like it as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel. Download the pertinent handouts for this video by clicking the link in the comments below. Now let's get started. A short sale listing agreement is between the seller and the broker. The seller and the broker. The bank is not a party to the contract. The bank does not own a short sale. And remember that the bank never takes title to a short sale. The listing price is very important in short sales, and you have to get it right, because setting the listing price too high could cause the property to sit on the market and head toward foreclosure. Setting it low could, of course, attract a lot of offers, but then the contract will ultimately be rejected by the lender. So I like to create history, which will help me to defend the contract price later. What I like to do when setting the price on a short sale is to set that price right at market value, but with the following clause. So let's get that clause library in front of you. We're going to take a look at clause 6.01, our first clause for today. And as you can see, it says, seller hereby authorizes listing broker to reduce the listing price by X amount of money at each 7-day interval until such time as property is under effective contract. So pay attention to the language, because what we are doing here is we are obtaining written authorization from the seller to automatically adjust the price of the listing without having to go back to the seller each time, have some sort of a, uncomfortable conversation, to do an MLS a change order, signed by the seller, signed by you, come to me for my signature, and then only then you can change the price in MLS. This is going to stave off that requirement to do that change order, and it's going to eliminate those difficult conversations with the seller. But very importantly, having this clause in your listing agreement is going to allow you to create a history. So if we list our property at X amount of dollars, and each week we cut it a little bit, we cut it a little bit more, by the time you find that sweet spot in the market and you're able to attract a good, solid offer, you've created a pricing history. So now, when the lender comes back to you several weeks or months from now and says, your contract price is too low, you have to go back to the buyer and you have to ask for more money. One of the best negotiating tools that you're going to have at your disposal is the ability to produce that listing history from MLS that showed you did, in fact, try a higher price before. And like I said, this way, we don't have to waste time, we don't have to waste paperwork, we don't have to go begging for that price change every time. And a lot of agents will come and say, well, what is a good amount of money to cut the price? My recommendation is to cut it about 1% per week. And when it comes to commission, it would be foolish to take a short sale listing with anything less than 6%. The seller's not paying the commission anyway. So why would you reduce your commission in a short sale situation? It doesn't make sense. So go out and take a full 6% commission, which is my recommendation for a residential property at TR Realty anyway. And speaking of commission, I want to let you know about something in our industry known as the 654 rule. This is a rule that is often used in short sale situations, and it is a way that some lenders will try to reduce our commission as part of the negotiating process. Because remember, they're trying to get the highest net payoff they can. So the less they pay us in commission, the more dollars remain on the table to satisfy that loan, right? So let's talk about the 654 rule. In a typical real estate transaction, you've got two agents, one representing a seller, one representing a buyer. And most of the time, they work for different brokers. In that situation, most short sale lenders would approve a 6% commission, 3% to each broker. In a situation where you've got an agent representing a buyer, a different agent representing a seller, but both of those agents work for the same broker, typically short sale lenders would approve a total commission of 5%, 2.5% to each side. And in the unusual situation where an agent has a short sale listing and then they also procure that buyer, so that would be a double dip, or what we call in Nevada a multiple representation transaction. Some lenders are only willing to pay out a 4% commission in that case. So the 654 rule: 6, 2 agents with different brokers; 5, 2 agents with the same broker; 4, the same agent. And not every lender will follow that, but some lenders do follow that 654 rule, and I just want you to be aware of it. And because commission can be a part of the short sale negotiation process with some lenders, I do want to bring your attention back to my clause library to clause 6.02. And as you can see from the when and where, this is something that I recommend goes into MLS every time you input a short sale listing. And it says, selling broker's commission subject to adjustment as per short sale lender's instructions, and will be split 50-50 between listing broker and selling broker. For those of you who think I made a mistake in the language, wait, selling broker, isn't that the listing broker? No, it's not. The selling broker actually represents the buyer. And again, I know that's a strange use of the term, but a lot of agents use that incorrectly. They say selling broker when they mean the broker representing the seller. It's not the case. So there's that language, and I suggest you use that in all short sale listings. FHA requires your short sale listing to be put into the MLS system before you can present a contract to the lender for short sale consideration. There are some cases where you take a short sale listing and before you can even put it into MLS, you might stumble across a buyer. You might have your own buyer, as an example. And you might feel that you don't even need to go ahead and put it into MLS in that case. Well, you always need to put everything into MLS. That is my policy at TR Realty. That is the Realtor Association's policy as well. However, I just want to make you aware that in an FHA short sale, it is also the policy of FHA that even if you have a buyer, it has to go into the MLS. Now, in short sales, you typically want to sell the property as is. And for those of you who have already watched my Class 4 video series, which is all about listings, you know that I do not believe in listing a property as is, but I do believe in selling a property as is. And like I told you in the Class 4 video series, if we list a property as is, we're going to get a lot fewer showings. Just the concept of as is turns off a lot of prospective buyers, even if there's nothing wrong with the property. It's just kind of an old school traditional way of thinking that if somebody's selling something as is, there might be something wrong with it. So the point I'm making here is that we want to sell the property as is, not advertise it as is. And we accomplish this through the counteroffer process. And just like I said in Class 4, if a seller offers a property for sale at X amount of dollars and a buyer comes in and offers him full ask at that price, the seller is still more than welcome to come back, perfectly legal, nothing wrong with even counteroffering with a higher price or changing the terms and conditions. So that's what I mean by accomplishing this through the counteroffer process. One of the things I recommend when we're listing a short sale is to try to convince a seller, if he's able to do it, to purchase a home warranty. Now, sometimes you're dealing with short sale situations where the sellers don't have any money, and I understand that. But in a lot of cases, they're actually not making the mortgage payment. So maybe squeezing out a few $100s for a home warranty is something that's doable. And the reason I like that is because during the short sale process, which can take quite a while, as you already know, something significant could go wrong with the home. You know, the air conditioner could break down, as an example. And what if you've got a short sale going through the process and the air conditioner breaks down and it needs to be replaced. $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 expense. Seller might not have that money. And if the seller can't replace the AC, there's a high likelihood that your deal is going to die. And it's not just the AC. That could happen with the roof. It could happen with something as small as a hot water heater or many other things as well. So getting that warranty during the listing period, I think, is really smart and really savvy. And then, of course, any unused period of time when we do actually close on that short sale is going to transfer to the buyer, so it's a nice selling feature as well. And here's a mistake that a lot of real estate agents make. When they effectuate a purchase and sale agreement on a short sale listing, they forget or they don't know to change the status to UCS. UCS, of course, stands for Under Contract Show. And in my opinion, that is the proper and appropriate status for a short sale listing that is under contract. Remember what I said a few minutes ago. The bank does not own a short sale. A short sale is a contract between a buyer and a seller. Okay? Lender is not a party to it. And since it's a contract between a buyer and a seller, you are absolutely required by MLS policy, LVR policy, and TR Realty Company policy. And once you effectuate that contract between the buyer and the seller, you must change the status to UCS. It can no longer be active in MLS. And some of you are thinking, yeah, but the bank hasn't approved the short sale yet. Well, the bank is a contingency in the contract, not a party to the contract. It must not remain in active status. And once you get a fully effectuated contract on your short sale listing, once you get it under contract, one of the first things you need to do is contact Driggs Title Agency and request something known as a preliminary settlement statement. So this is really important because a preliminary settlement statement, or what we used to call a net sheet years ago, the preliminary settlement statement is going to calculate all of the closing costs in the transaction, and it's going to give us that net figure, the net proceeds, which is the number one number that the lender is going to be looking at, okay? They want to know, we take the sale price, we deduct the real estate commission, we deduct all the expenses, we deduct any other liens that might exist on the property. What are we getting to satisfy that first lien? So that is how we get a good, hard, solid number to give to the lender as part of our short sale negotiating process. That is known as a preliminary settlement statement, and Driggs Title Agency will do that for you for free all day long. Another strategy I want to share with you here is how important it is in a short sale listing situation to have backup offers. If you're watching this video, you already know that short sales can take time, and not every buyer has been educated by their agent. Not every buyer is willing to stay in a contract for months and months and months waiting for lender approval. And you know, when the lender gets back to the listing agent, typically they come back with a counteroffer anyway. So whether it's the waiting period, whether it's the counteroffer process from the lender, we often lose the first buyer in a short sale. And in a short sale situation, time is the enemy, right? Because if we're not able to successfully complete our short sale, that house is going to go to foreclosure, right? So we want to get this process started, and we want to keep it on track, not to get derailed. We want to keep it moving forward the best we can. If you lose your buyer in a short sale, and you have to go back on the market, and you have to start showing the property again, and you have to start entertaining offers again, you're losing an awful lot of time. So it's a good strategy if you have a backup offer or two or three. I teach the strategy of how to do that in Class 4 video series. I hope you've seen it by now since this is Class 6. But in any case, maybe you want to go back and review that. Backup offers are really, really important in short sale situations. And I want you to be very skeptical of offers on short sales that come from an institutional buyer. And when I say institutional buyer, I'm talking primarily about an LLC, okay? Often, when you put a short sale on the market, you get an offer like right away, or more than one offer, from some LLC where somebody has not even seen the property, okay? What these institutional buyers are doing is fishing. They're putting in low offers. They're either counting on the listing agent not being that experienced, or they're maybe trying to prey on a weak or desperate homeowner, and they're trying to tie up the property with a low offer. This is a really, really bad idea for your seller, because the seller is running out of time. They are up against the foreclosure clock. If you allow the property to go under contract with the wrong seller, a seller such as an institutional buyer like this, there's a very high likelihood that they're going to cancel the transaction. They're still going to get their due diligence period, but it's going to be after short sale approval. And 9 times out of 10, the lender's going to come back and say, your offer is too low, we want X more, and that's going to give that buyer a chance to bail out on you anyway. So what they're doing is they're tying up the property at an artificially low price, tying it up for weeks, tying it up for months in some cases, hoping they get lucky, you know, like a crapshoot, that some lender is going to accept a low offer. Chances are it's not going to happen. That institutional buyer is going to bail on you. They're going to get their EMD back too, by the way, and they're going to leave the seller without any time left before he goes to foreclosure. So this can create a really, really, really bad situation, not to mention the expenses that the seller might have to incur. He's still paying utilities, he's still paying his association, he's still paying some other things, possibly taxes, insurance, etc. This can often drive the seller right into foreclosure. So I urge you to exercise extreme caution when it comes to institutional buyers of short sale properties. I would like to thank you for watching this video. I hope it was informative for you. If you are licensed with another brokerage in Southern Nevada and would like to talk with me, please text me or visit our website. See you next time.